It wasn't no real long, lavish relationship. It wasn't like that.
Right.
But I'm empathic, so I tend to cry about everything. I cry about everything.
So
But
okay, so
mhm,
your ex dies, right?
yes, hmm
Horrible, right?
yes.
How
Rob,
long
Rob,
between hold on, how long between when your ex died and when you found out? How long was it? Do you
So it was only like 3 days after he died. I found out that he died. So the funeral
okay?
didn't even happen yet.
So it
Oh
was
wow.
relatively new. Okay. All
But
right.
yes,
So okay. And then you find out you go to crying in the bathroom. So the question here is the question here is should you care that your ex died
Yes.
from your
Yeah,
from a
no.
husband perspective,
so repeat that from a what perspective?
from your former husband's perspective. That was
Okay.
his question.
Okay. So don't get me wrong. I do understand both perspectives. I do understand my former husband's perspective and him thinking I must have still been in love or thinking about said person.
Right.
However, I felt like for him to have been married to me for 16 years, he should know that I'm sensitive and he should know that I cry about everything. And instead of getting in his bag of feelings, he should have
Mm,
consoled me and said, baby, we're together. It's okay. I love you. Move on. That's
right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't tell people I love them. So if I actually told you I love you, just know that it's real.
Right.
So I've never told this man I loved him, the one that died. I've never told him that. We've only dated for 4 months. But what was sentimental about the whole thing to me is that we were together when he bought that motorcycle.
Mm, okay.
So I was just like, damn it.
Sentimental stuff.
It messed with me because I felt like I could have influenced him not to.
Mm,
And
gotcha.
it bothered me. I almost felt a little guilty,
Okay.
right?
Okay. So that makes sense. That makes sense. So okay. So to the well, it's just me and you, Chef. I was gonna say to the fellas. So, so Chef, I'm gonna go to you first, and then we're gonna go down the line. All right.
Yeah, let's go. Come on with it.
Look, I know how I feel about it. I know how
Mhm.
I would feel, but I'm gonna go to you first. So you married to a woman, right? Your wife. This your wife now, right? Your wife come in the crib crying over her ex because he dead. Because he
Oh,
died.
I thought you were gonna reverse the roles and ask me. You know, I came in the crib crying up, but
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna get that thigh next, but
first,
that's I'm going there. But I wanna how you responding to your lady crying over her ex that just died recently?
you want to go out and get drunk?
Yeah, hello.
Hey,
Just
I do
died.
feel like a logical person, someone that is not narcissistic,
Right,
will look at it for what it actually is and not take it personal.
right,
yeah, I
It
mean,
has
personally,
nothing.
yeah, it has nothing to do with me, but in my mind, I'm like, hey, you know what? You feeling down, babe?
Hey,
Let's go turn up. Let's go celebrate. Let's go
he
turn one upside
dead.
down.
right.
And I know that there's many women out there that probably hate their significant other's exes, like oh the baby mama or whatever. And if they hear
Right.
that they died, they be like, let's celebrate. I
Yeah.
And
mean,
that's
you understand what I'm saying? Let's celebrate. Oh, that bitch is dead. Like, I don't understand why why would you take it personal like that? Why
I
would
mean,
you
I'm
make
not
it
taking it
about
personal.
you?
I'm like, hey, let's go drink and Tell me about the good times you have with that
one for
person.
the
But let's
homies.
pour one up for him, but we're gonna get lit at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
So, Chef, flip it. You find out your ex died, and your new lady see you crying over her.
First of all, my new lady ain't gonna see me crying. I'm gonna be on Facebook Live talking about it's going down in the 99.
Hey, it's happy hour right now.
I need. I look. I'm gonna have some type of feelings. I'm like, it's unfortunately, I lost my ex-wife. But if you know your boy, 77265 Belline Road is going down. Beat me there.
He just do a shameless plug.
Shade, hey.
But you know what?
Okay.
I know a couple that had went through this situation. The female, her baby daddy had died, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the guy that she was with didn't like the fact that she was crying over this man.
But that's a child's father. That's a little different.
Right. But because of his own insecurities, instead of him consoling that woman, he should have been consoling her. He took it and he basically reversed it. He made her feel bad for mourning the father of her child.
Mario said, "Run me my life insurance check."
That
I
part.
want to say the B word.
Reverse it.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I've never experienced anything like that before, but you should be there for your partner regardless.
Absolutely. And when I said that there's multiple reasons why I'm not with him anymore, this was not the first incident where he got bent out of shape about me going to a funeral. And it wasn't.
There's a deeper story here. Hold on.
Yeah, maybe he should have went with you then.
But the whole point is that if that's a response that anybody gets from anybody, your insecurities is showing. Period. And that's how I feel. It doesn't matter. Why do you care? I said the ghost is not even going to come and haunt you. Why do you care? You shouldn't care.
So, all right. Sorry for
joining us, KG.
Yeah. Sorry for the here, but
welcome back.
As a disclaimer here, we're gonna play devil's advocate here. So I took a look at your comment section and
he did some research.
That's why he loud off.
Let me tell you, and this is the reason why I thought it was such a good idea to have her on.
They attacked me.
Her comment section, and you can smell the masculinity in the comment section.
The misogyny was written all over that comment section.
And I was like, oh, they're just going in. So they're relentless, and there's a lot of dudes in their feelings about it. So I'm going to speak to that point to see, kind of bring it to light. But it's not my views. I'm just saying this is what they're saying.
He's trying to soften it. He's like, how I feel.
I gotta put the out there.
They were relentless. They was coming for the jugular.
Yeah. So they were saying the main thing that was being said was like, what about his feelings? What about thinking about the man that you're with and how he felt about you mourning over your dead ex? What did you not take that into consideration?
No.
The ex is dead. What is consideration about?
What?
There's no competition.
I gotta consult my parent.
So this is what.
So okay.
So I responded. I responded because I have my moments, and I definitely have videos up there and said, you know what, y'all gonna be in my comments. I want the smoke. So I commented back to pretty much shine light on their misogyny, patriarchal ways of thinking, controlling, narcissistic way of thinking. I was like, okay, so why is it always the woman's job to take an understanding for the man's feelings? But you're with me too. you're with me too. You can't understand me as your woman. If it's anybody that should know me, it's somebody that I lay next to every single day. So
Damn right.
you know that we sit and watch a movie and I will shed a tear. You think I'm not going to shed a tear hearing somebody die?
Yes.
That is
Especially somebody that you cared about.
That's a great point. And the thing is that from the man's perspective that are thinking like this is what they're thinking. They're like, why is she crying over a dude that just died?
You make me 3 times over.
Is she going to cry over me when I'm gone?
That's exactly what my husband said.
Sure, why
Is
not?
she going to cry over me? And my response was,
It's
I
not
have
about you.
children with you. One, it's not about you.
Yes.
Two,
Right.
I have a life, a family, and a potential future with you. If anything was to happen to you at any given Sunday, I wouldn't shed 1 or 2 tears. I will be devastated.
Right.
I will make sure that insurance policy is extremely high because now you're talking shit. So,
I don't even need your signature on it. I can still get it.
yes, right, but
Mario said, as far as I'm concerned, the threat has been eliminated.
so that's what I tried. So don't get me wrong. I did try to reassure my husband that he had nothing to worry about. But it did not matter because an insecure man will respond the way he responded and not care what I said as reassurance. He will still be in his feelings even after. Just like all those men that was in my comment section speaking about what about their feelings? What about my feelings? All we care about is your damn feelings. I don't care anymore.
So
Then the next
the crazy thing about it is like, guys, do not bring up your emotions, your feelings in the midst of your girl breaking down, because then it looks like it's being aimed towards you. Like it's self-centered, it's giving, you know, I'm an insecure guy, what about me? Or it's giving my mommy didn't love me enough, so why
It's giving filthy. That's what it is.
You said it's giving what, Rob?
You own it, Professor X. You own it.
I know.
If you ain't here, it didn't matter.
Right. It's definitely giving off mommy daddy issues.
Yeah.
Abandonment issues.
You know what? And to kind of speak truth to all of it, we all have our own abandonment issues. We all have
in some way.
In some way that we got to hold on to every little thing. But when you grip tightly to something so much, it's going to get loose through your grip. Yep. So
I'm still on the question of, would you cry for me like that?
I think that's a dumbass question.
Yes. It was a dumb question.
But one other thing. All right.
Okay.
So there's another video that I saw on your page, and it had to do communication.
Oh yes.
Man.
Now
getting some points.
Yes.
I ain't seen this one.
Yo, y'all gotta check it out. Y'all have to see it. And she breaks it down in the best way. So before we even go any,
thank you.
Before we go off to another topic, I gotta hear my baby sister's point to this last topic. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I'm shotgunning you. So
she sure was quiet.
Oh wait, y'all look alike. I'm noticing that. I didn't even know that was your sister. Now that I'm looking at her, I'm looking like, wait a doggone minute.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Okay.
What do you got to say?
So what my reaction would be to crying about my ex dying? It depends on which ex it is. Number one.
Okay.
It depends on which ex. If it's the baby daddy, I'm going to shed a tear for my child because they lost their father. But as far as me, I don't care personally.
Right.
But if it was like an ex that I was still friends with and everything, I would cry. And if whoever I was with at that time, I would expect for him to understand how I feel. But to the baby daddy, I don't care. Deuces. Don't let the casket hit you on the butt on the way
down, right? Wait.
Oh damn!
She said she's not even gonna waste no liquor. She's not pouring no liquor out for this one.
None. I low key want to be the first person to find out.
Wow.
I want to be the first person to find out.
That's it.
And if he wasn't so high risk, I would definitely have life insurance on him right now.
And you don't need his signature.
And you don't need
Look
a
at that.
signature. Look at God.
Look at that.
Look at God. Look at God.
Oh,
All right.
shoot.
So, all right. On to the topic of communication. Give a brief synopsis of what that was about. And I didn't hear how to say your name. Was it Takia?
Takia, perfect.
All right, Takia, Miss Takia Howard. Check out her video. She got really, really good content. And it's
I'm trying to
phenomenal.
bring it up here now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it.
All right. Yeah. So go ahead.
So hopefully it's the one that I'm thinking about because I definitely did a good amount of videos dealing with certain things. Is it the one that I was talking about listening skills?
Listening skills.
Okay.
That's the one.
I'm gonna say where that stemmed from. It stemmed from the comments and previous posts that I did before. I have come to the understanding, it's not just through that, it's also through my profession and my work as well, what I do as a regular 9 to 5. So
What do you,
I
wait, what do you
realized,
do before we give, what do you do?
so I'm an English professor.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
And
sorry.
so I analyze people. It's not by choice, it's by craft. I usually could tell where somebody's ethnic background, is from the way that they write, the way that they speak. And I usually could tell how some of the psychological ailments that people possess based upon how they react, how they move, body language, stuff like that. So when I was posting certain things that I noticed, because I would stitch another person's video and it would go viral, right? I was taken back by how the people would comment on the post that I made, and they would pick one or two things out from what I said and go off on the one or two things that I said, and they're missing key words that will be very clear and concise to the whole video in itself. So I just was like, you know what? It's not just on the video; it's in real life too. Because if you're having an argument, or not even an argument, just a debate with anybody, they pick and choose to take what they want to hear and only respond to that. When people do that, that's because they're listening to response and not listen to understand. A lot of relationships I have noticed fail because people are always looking to win. And if you are a partnership, you should be looking to understand your partner, not be selfish to always win an argument. So because of how everyone responded to me in a lot of my posts, that's where that post came from. People lack listening skills. That's why they're quick to fight back at you. They're quick to argue. They're quick to be combative. The troublesome people don't listen. Because if they did, they would be quiet because you won't argue with fools. But those that don't know the truth won't argue. And that's pretty much what it is and where it came from. So
I like
that
every argument with a woman though?
I'm sorry, somebody said something arguing about women, what?
Yeah, Mario in the comments said, isn't that every argument with a woman though?
It's only that way with you. Now you're projected.
You pointing the finger right back at you. Back in him. That's right. Hey, he came in with his 2 pistols. He came in with 2 pistols in his boots.
Is it that arguing with every woman? It's every woman you argue with. Because my boyfriend loves me. He loves talking to me. We sit down and have very in-depth conversations. He loves it. Why? Because a lot of times I just sit there, shut up, and let them talk.
You know what?
You know what?
Very good strategy. Now to think about it.
Okay, so what Mario was trying to say is that there are a lot of women out there that could take this tip right here and just listen instead of responding
to win.
I see that look. You give.
I want you to keep going because it needs to go to somebody else too.
So it's a great tip to just listen to understand, not listen to respond.
I feel like you only listen to the part where it was directed towards women.
Right. I think it should not be sexualized. This should not be sexualized at all. It is people in general.
I was just trying to make Mario comments.
He's listening to respond. He's listening to understand.
Just making Mario's comment to
more clear.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I understand. And I'm not saying his experience is wrong. I'm not going to dismiss his experience at all. However, it should not be sexualized. This is something that is common on both ends, male and female.
Now, okay, to add on to that, would you say who of the two races or sexes have this issue
more? You want me to actually?
I would like to hear your professional opinion on this one.
Hold on, before you answer, Mario said.
That's what I mentioned. Wait.
No, but he want to talk. He want to get stuff off his chest.
Okay.
He said Mario says that women cannot admit fault. That's his comment.
Once again, I'm not okay, Mario. Whew. Please.
Oh, yeah, it's not like you've been having some bad experiences. That's what it sounds like to me.
It definitely sounds like it. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's
Mario,
not like that.
you need some help,
baby.
baby.
Two, when you are specific on gender, you are deeming all that way, and you should not do that. You should speak generally. Yes. If you're going to say this is a problem overall, and then we could break it down as into why. But don't generalize it to the gender, because as much as you could say women, I could say men, and we could go back and forth all day, every day. Because I have come in counsel with a lot of men that are extremely combative, beyond ignorant, and refuse to listen to anybody. But there are women out there that are the exact same way. Mm-hmm. The only reason, now to go back to the question that was asked of me a minute ago, my professional opinion, which I think is hilarious. If I had to give my personal, I'm not going to say professional, personal thoughts on that, I would say the only reason they would say women are more combative when it comes to having a conversation or being a good listener is because women talk more. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's women more. No, men, I could say, and it's statistics that can prove this, are silenced. Men don't speak. Men don't express emotion. Men are taught not to be this way.
Okay.
So, right, men are taught not to be this way, therefore they don't do it. So because they don't verbalize themselves all the time doesn't mean they're not combative.
They're not, so when you said silence, they're not silent, they're being silenced.
Silent. I would say the reason I said silence, see, I'm specific with what I said. Yeah. I'll elaborate on that. The reason I said men are silent is because when you're dealing with a woman that goes like this, they don't have time to get a word in. Therefore, they are silent. And if they're constantly being yelled at,
they're not going to had doggone comments working today because
they're not going to speak. And I'm not saying that everybody has the ability to understand how to deal with men that are trained to be this way. What I have learned is that if you sit there, and it's not just for men, it's for people in general. If you sit there long enough in front of somebody and nod your head, they will continue to talk.
True.
You do not have to even act like you care about what they're saying. Men do it all the time. They sit in front of women and be like, "Oh yeah, for real? Oh man, I can't believe that happened to you." And they ain't hear nothing you say. So us women, if we want a better relationship with our men, we need to just sit there and do the same thing.
That is called.
Oh, really?
We definitely got to stop the passive listening because
we should listen. We should.
Okay, I want to say this because there are some. I'm reading. They flying in from all platforms, by the way. But a lot of them are saying, these are men. When we say express our feelings or something like that, it gets dismissed, or she gets upset as if it's a attack on her for some reason, right? So, and like you said, it's taught to us,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But when we do finally stand up and verbalize it, it comes off as an argument, right? And so it's like I'm trying to beat that curse of being taught this, but I'm running up against a wall because my lady don't want to hear it.
Now, if Sunshine was here, this is exactly what she would say. Mm-hmm. Don't wait until I'm bringing up this point.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about your feelings.
Yes.
Okay.
It's all about timing. It's all about timing.
Yeah. But okay. So let's say the timing is right, and it's just out of the blue.
Okay.
I'm feeling some type of way. Right. And it's rejected, or it's met with some type of opposition because she feels like it's an attack, or she feel like I'm just complaining, or whatever the case may be, right?
Okay.
Oftentimes men get rejected for how they feel.
I think it's best that you do speak your mind, like especially if something happened and you don't like it. I think it's best that you get it out at that time, because later on, when everything gets blown out of proportion, that's when the arguments start or whatever, because something was being held in for too long. If you feel a certain type of way at that moment, express it. I don't want no man that's going to be quiet all the time. Don't make me think like I'm right all the time, because I know I'm not right all the time. If you have something to say it.
Can I, okay, can I,
Go ahead.
Communication. Can I say what I have learned?
Sure.
We, and I'm going to say we, refuse to validate our spouse and their feelings. So what comes off as just basic expression can then turn into an argument because there's no validation happening in between. If my significant other or whoever I claim to love, and this is important, is telling me about their feelings, if I want to add on to it, instead of saying, but wait, because that's something that people are quick to say, what about this or what about that? Instead of saying that, it is, I feel, crucial to validate your partner's feelings at that moment and say, you know what? You are right. And I am sorry that I made you feel that way. That wasn't my intention. When this happened, this is how it made you feel. Whatever. Once you validate your significant other, then you can move into your feelings. The minute you jump from your feelings right after they express theirs, you feel dismissed.
Yeah, there should
and it's both ways.
There should never be a but in that situation.
Right. People don't understand that these conjunctions.
Yeah. And everything you say after but,
it contradicts it.
Exactly.
It negates it. Yes. So So you're right. I get it.
Women apologize? Question mark.
Oh, I do. Anybody can ask. I'm the type of person that you have to. Don't get me wrong. I'm wrong. I be strong. I be strong-headed all the way. But I'm the type of person that you need to come with receipts and cite your sources. Don't come
because I know for sure.
Right.
I know for sure. Before I ask questions, I'm going to get my proof. And I just want to see what your answer gonna be. That's all it is.
We most likely did our homework already.
Yeah, I already did my research.
Roddy Rio from YouTube said, "If you know you're not right all the time, it's not my job to remind you."
What do you mean? Everyone should know that they're not right. It is. If you care about me and you love me as a spouse, you should and I should be open for correction.
Exactly. That's how people grow.
Yep. So
that's the only way somebody's going to be able to improve as a person
it
or
has
in a
to
relationship.
And that eliminates the big blowups of the arguments.
There you go. Yes, ma'am.
Both sides have to be like level-headed and be like, okay, hold up. Is this her turn to talk? Let me let her get it out. Inversely, do not bring up your own stuff. Say that you concur, you understand. You'll make the chant. You make
there you go.
It's hard.
Just you work on everything from there.
That's it.
Mario says, I'm gonna go through these comments. There's a lot of them, y'all.
Hey, Mario been on it, doggone
it. Mario says, so the apology only comes after you try to prove you're right, is what you're saying. And Rowdy Rio said you should be self-aware.
People are okay. So sometimes people aren't self-aware. Yeah. When it comes down to doing self-assessments, a lot of people don't recognize that for themselves. So if you are the type of person to where you have grown as an individual, you are able to do those self-assessments. Now, sometimes people don't know that they're doing things until somebody tells them. So sometimes people got to be enlightened a little bit.
Yep.
That is accurate. Now, what also needs to be considered is that just because I consider myself to be self-aware, but I'm not going to walk around here being a people pleaser.
Exactly.
Because
I have no issue saying no. Nope.
Like, no, I got to start saying, and that's another post. I think you saw a post. I said, okay, today's the new year. Everything I'm telling people no. Like, we're going to say no. Telling people no. The answer is no. So yes, but
when you're an introvert or an empath, it's very hard to tell people no.
Very hard.
I'm
an extrovert introvert.
That's an omnivert, but if you're both, but the thing is, I'm not both. I am an extrovert, but I'm also empathic. So my emotions is always like up here. I'm extremely bubbly all the time. Nobody ever knows when I'm upset. No one ever knows when I'm upset.
The problem with that is that people take advantage of that.
Big time. I'm a chronic, it's like unconsciously, I'm a chronic people pleaser.
I mean,
Brandon says, but it's when we make her aware is when the argument starts.
Well, okay.
Who have you been talking to, Brandon?
Okay. Who are you talking to? Right. So this now goes back to awareness as well. You need to know who you're dealing with. Just because we throw the word narcissism out there, it doesn't always apply to men. There are some women out there that are narcissists. And this new generation that's coming up were born narcissists. So with that being said, you need to know who you're dealing with. And if everything is always about them and never about you, maybe you need to reevaluate who you choose. Self-awareness. It's you that picked that person.
Yep. So, when you hold up. So Brandon, when you become self-aware as a man in a relationship and you know she's gonna pop off if you even mention anything about like what you feel and what you're talking about, you have to dissect that. You do have that in your brain power.
I'll be honest though. I feel like what y'all are saying, it sounds like victim shaming. Like, well, you should have picked it.
Now you're starting. No, that's not, no. See, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. If you are aware that you have somebody that is in your life that continuously wants to argue, why would you want that toxicity in your life? I mean, you're just as toxic as the next person.
Like it. Yep, you feed off of it. You live off of it.
Exactly.
Now,
and if you don't get it, your life is boring.
There are people out there that love to be talked down to. It just turns them on. And that's all they want to do. So maybe Brandon, hey, brother.
The reason
Brandon,
I say that.
You got to choose wisely, Brandon.
Okay, but here's the thing though. I say that because when you first get into a relationship with somebody, you don't necessarily know everything about them. You don't know that they're gonna pop off on everything. Mm-hmm. So choosing them is not, I don't think choosing them is the option. It's choosing to stay with them that is the troublesome part. But on the same side of that coin, is it my fault that she act this way?
Okay, the red flags are there at the beginning. You're not paying attention. It is your fault because you were not sitting back and you were not observing this individual. The red flag's been there.
Hold on.
Wait. Because in this situation, right? This person that I'm dealing with is a toxic person. Right?
Yes, and you knew it from the
now
jump.
understand that. I now know that, right? So in an effort to make them what we call self-aware, right?
Okay.
Now I'm getting all this hate and backlash from trying to make you self-aware.
So I have a question. So hopefully this question could lead into you being more self-aware, right?
I'm going to be more self-aware.
Right, because you were self-aware first. You're saying you are, right?
No,
okay,
so it's always our fault.
Okay, wait. So what attracted you to that person in the first place?
She could have been fine. And, she had
what attracted you to that person in the first place? Because a lot of men will admit that they were aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Yes.
Yeah.
So guess what? You were attracted to that person because you like the way that they look. Now you need to be more aware and what you choose to look at and like. And if this is what you like, you should know what comes with that. A big booty and a smile is not always great. Y'all need to just cut that out.
It's poison.
It's
poison. So fellas, we got to choose ugly women from here on out.
Y'all need to start paying attention to why y'all choose the women that y'all choose. I went through multiple conversations with men about this, and this one friend of mine was always dealing with women that looked a certain way, and they turned out to be dumb as doorknobs. And right. They turned out to be dumb as doorknobs, and he would come back to me and he would be like, yo, what the hell? This girl won't even go to school to better herself. And I say, what she do for a living? Oh, she a bartender in a strip club. She a stripper.
Oh, she good.
Right.
I wouldn't want to do it either.
He got a type.
Right.
He got the build a body girl. He likes the ones that build their body. Right? He likes that. So don't get me wrong. If this is what you're choosing and common denominator is you. You keep choosing the same women and then wondering why you get in the same results. That's insanity.
Okay, the same goes for women too, though.
You're absolutely right, but you asked me about you.
I did.
You heard the phrase, you attract what you are, right?
Yeah.
You heard of that, right? So sometimes, and maybe, sometimes men do go for women that aren't smart. Because they're not
accurate. That's true. I heard that too. I heard that too.
So they're gonna feel a little bit like a level higher within that relationship.
So
they know how to, run that relationship.
Control.
Manipulate.
I have been ghosted. I have been ghosted the minute I have told men what I did for a living.
Damn.
So
yes.
But they always talk about how they want a strong, independent.
Wait a minute, because when you say they, be specific. Because I'm
sorry.
Love that my wife
she brought up an excellent point because I've been through that before as well. Like I've been ghosted plenty of times because of my profession, because I'm a business owner, or whatever the case may be. Right. And you're not out there getting it. You need to figure something out because at the end of the day, we all are introduced to many opportunities in life. And if you choose not to take them, that ain't my fault.
Now, this is what I've heard when it came to, because a young man told me that he purposely dates dumb women, right?
Oh,
now, after a guy told me this, and I was like, interesting. Let me hear more. So as I dug deep into his life, I realized that growing up, he has not been validated by any of the women in his life. So he was never poured into in a positive way. Therefore, he felt stupid because he was always being told that he was stupid. So then when he actually got with a woman, he chose a woman that made him feel smart.
Okay, so Mario brings up a great point. You know, Mario been on the comments. Mario said, but folks will switch up once they are comfortable, though.
He does have a point.
True.
He does have a
That
point.
Is true. Now I have a post about that too. And I said how people are quick to jump in bed with others because they look at them and they're aesthetically pleasing, but you don't vet these people. You stay around them long enough, they will show you who they are, and you didn't have to get spiritually or emotionally connected to them at all. Trust me, the reason you got in your feelings is because you started sleeping with somebody you didn't know.
Yep.
So you
I'm with on that one because it's very true. Because at the end of the day, the person that you first meet is the representative. That's what I always say. That person is the representative. So we're gonna find out exactly who's the boss, who's that real person that's under that makeup, under that paint, something. And like I said before, you have to sit back and you have to observe that person because those red flags are there from the jump. They may be small red flags, but those small red flags become big red flags. So you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention. So it's up to you on what type of people you'll let in your life.
Rowdy Rio from YouTube said, being independent and trying to be toxically masculine are not the same thing.
Oh man, no.
Okay.
No.
See, everybody's idea of masculinity is different. How dare he say something like that? Because as far as I'm concerned, how are you going to just deem somebody toxically masculine as if that applies to all? Your idea of masculinity is not right. That makes us masculine. Oh, because your idea of masculinity is you to work because women work, they're masculine. Because women are more organized, they're masculine. Well, then I'm walking in my masculinity. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody taking care of me.
I feel like so because the term toxic masculinity has been tossed around a lot in the last couple of years, right? And I feel like it's morphed into a totally different definition of what it's actually meant to be.
It actually is.
And I think what he's trying to say is not necessarily toxically masculine, but toxic, period. Right? So there's a difference between, and we've talked about this on this podcast before, there's a difference between being independent and being an asshole. Two very different things. Right? You can be a nice independent woman. Right? You don't have to be this overly, it's not even. And the crazy thing is, what I think a lot of women think it's, he's intimidated by my confidence. Not intimidated by your confidence. You're difficult to deal with. That's different. Being so, I know this ruffles a lot of feathers when I say this.
What's difficult to deal with?
Difficult to deal with is somebody that is literally just combative for no reason, right?
Okay,
I can see that.
When I'm trying to talk to you, hey, how you doing? What's your name? And there's a certain energy that comes with how you respond, right? You can reject me without being aggressive,
naughty.
Like you can, and to be honest, men are accustomed to rejection. We get rejected daily, right?
Every day.
But you know what?
there's a difference when I'm saying, I'm trying to talk to you, hey, how you doing? What's your name? And it's a get the fuck out of my face versus, you know what I mean? That's different. That's not.
Maybe you came around at the wrong time.
I'm gonna believe that this happens more commonly for men, but women go through this as well. I remember I walk down the street and he'd be like, hey shorty. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Fuck you. And I get cursed out.
Now,
You can call
does
all
happen.
the names in the world.
They will.
Yes.
Because
I wish we had more time.
this happens to us. This happens
You
to us
ugly
too.
anyway. That's what it is.
That definitely does happen. That
Yeah.
absolutely that person happens.
Like, what the hell?
Those men that are doing that, they dealing with something else. That ain't.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. To go back to the initial question that you was trying to put out there, it still goes back to vetting who you are with. A lot of times, if you're dealing with a woman that is extremely combative with everything in her life, even down to her independence, there is something that traumatized her.
Mhm.
And if you don't understand who you are dealing with, you're just gonna find her to be hard to deal with.
Now, is
That
it our
goes-
job to?
Is it your job?
Now, is it
Oh,
our
don't
job?
call it a job.
Oh, well, I mean,
If you care about that
so
woman,
I've been in.
you want to be able to allow her to put that guard down and be able to talk to you about, some of the things that she has gone through, and you'll be able to better understand her. And it's the same vice versa as well.
I want to answer his question differently from the way you answered it. When he asked, is it our job? I don't think it is our job. It's nobody's job. It's not your job to figure that out. If you love and care about that person, then it is your job. Other than that, if that person is someone you're not vested in, then if it don't apply, let it fly. Who cares? You don't have to deal with that person.
Okay, so just to preface this here, I was in a really, really toxic relationship. I knew that she was toxic. I knew that she was just off the chain and just combative about everything. So I tried to tell her about herself. I'm like, hey, this is, you know what? You don't have to be so combative with me. I'm here to help. I love you. You need to do this, or you don't need to do this, but I would suggest, changing these things about him. And it never changed. And I'm like, okay, so I'm out.
Good job.
Good job. You're supposed to do that.
And that's what you're supposed to do. So in a situation where you recognize a person is not the way that you thought that they were, and then they're really toxic and combative towards someone, that they say that they do love you, you need to evaluate it. Don't ignore the red flags. So, a lot of people do ignore red flags, just passing them up, like, okay, you know what? I can change the person. I can change this. I can do that. I'm just going to ignore
familiar.
it.
I could have sworn I just said that.
When it all, yeah, you did. So I'm just stating from my personal own experience that, and looking back at all of it, I was stupid staying in that type of relationship. I was very stupid because, being verbally abused for just speaking up and speaking your mind, that shouldn't be allowed in any type of relationship, whether it be man or woman.
Yeah.
And you grow and you learn from that.
Amen. Professor X.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we ran out of time. God, I had so much more I wanted to say, but we ended right here.
I mean, we started late, so
just keep it going.
You could give it a little bit more.
Yeah, we did start late. So
it's your fault that we started
What
late.
Rob got to say? Come on, Rob. Bring it
Mario said loving someone and loving someone enough to change for them is different. Ooh, here, good topic, Mario. So changing. Okay, so can y'all answer me this? Since we got a balanced crew, right?
Okay.
Why is it? It feels, just from observation, it feels like more women select battered or troubled men in an effort to change them.
Oh, I'm so glad. Awesome question.
Yes, real good question.
That's a really good question. So this is my intake, and this is my personal intake, okay? Based upon my environment and where I live, I have to be realistic. If I want somebody completely different, I have to leave where I am at and go somewhere else in order to find that. I know I live in a predominantly Black community, and the men in this community have to deal with societal struggles.
Mhm.
I am the type of woman that says, I'm not going to beat down the Black men in my community. I'm going to love them. How do I love them? By investing in them. I am willing to partner up with somebody to build together. Am I going to find somebody that's together, got everything all together? That's, I would love that. But are they where I'm at?
No.
Are they where I'm at? And I have to be realistic and not just deem all men in my community to just be failures when the system has failed us.
Mario, you must.
Mario, she ain't staying in no cliff, man. She from the NY. She ain't down here in Texas. Goddamn it.
The thing about it is that when it does come down to women choosing those broken men, that's what you said, broken men.
Yeah, battered, broken, troubled.
Battered, broken. A lot of women would like to take on the role as the fixer.
Yeah.
So that's why it's easy for them to choose those guys, because that make them feel better. That's how some women are.
We're nurturing.
I'm not a fixer.
Yeah.
I'm putting it out there. I'm not a fixer. But I need you to at least. I need some.
She ain't built a Bob.
I'm
no
not
Billy Bob. We ain't Billy Bob out here.
I don't think I'm a fixer, but I'm a realist. And at the end of the day,
definitely.
yeah, that's a broken man, but I have to be real with myself. I'm a broken woman too.
Yep, we are. If you think about it, we all are, because we at this age we have all been through something.
Right.
Yeah.
I have trauma too.
In those scenarios, in those situations, right? Why is I feel like you said, women are fixers. Y'all ain't, but you know.
It depends. It all depends.
That's what psychotherapists and shrinks are for.
Depends on the nigga.
So in those situations, what bothers me is we talked about choices, right? You choose to stay with these people, right? So if you chose them knowing everything that comes with them, the baggage, the brokenness, all of that comes with it, why then do you, years and years down the line, staying with this person, continue to complain about the same things that continue to happen in your relationship? Because that man won't change for you.
Because they're flawed. They're flawed, just like I'm flawed, just like you're flawed. Are you going to accept those flaws? If that man is not willing to change, or that woman is willing to change, then something is not right. You can't make them change
either. That's the point he's trying to make. I think with the question, that's the point he's trying to make. You already know what you got yourself into, and it's been this way for a year, 2 years. Why are you expecting change 5, 10 years down the line? Because there's people have hope. It's hope.
Why are you hoping for something?
But wait, you're expecting everybody to psychoanalyze everybody, and that does not happen. Everybody's not gifted in that way. They walk with love. Love is in their eyes, so that's all they see, and they're going to continue to hope.
Regardless,
I get that.
But let's not forget the man sees that the woman is broken, and he tells her what she wants to hear to give her that hope. Let's not play like y'all don't be playing with us.
That's
a point too.
That's a point too. People lie. I think I have a post about that too.
Yeah, that ain't me. That ain't me. I don't do that. I'm pretty put together. If I do say something. But
he said he done been through some things and he good.
You know what? You know what? I can speak to that. I used to be the type that was not very well put together, and it took a lot of relationships to go through to be the person that I am right now. I used to be the type of person that was like, no, it's not me, it's you. You messed up. You need to change these things. You need to.
I'm perfect.
I'm perfect. My mama told me I'm perfect. So I don't know what's going on with you.
Of course she did.
Be that type.
Your mothers always do
it.
Okay.
My baby perfect.
Yeah.
Looking just like your father.
And then tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. And so it took a lot of growing up. And once I grew up, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything whatsoever. I'm just gonna chill back and let things play out the way they are. And once you get to with that person and you understand, like, hey, this person is just like me. This person has everything that I love about them. There's little things that need to be fixed, and don't go into a relationship thinking that you need to fix the person. Like that's on them. But it's your part as their partner to tell them, hey, you might want to look at this. You might want to take a look at this. These are the things that I've observed, and they're troubling. Don't say that it's a problem and they need to change, because it's not your job to change the person. It's up to them.
Correct.
To themselves.
Now I do have a question, and this is for the whole panel. Okay, around what age time period did you realize that you have to sit back and you have to, accept a person, flaws and all? Because it was a time, I ain't gonna lie, it was a time in my life I was just picky. I was like, nope. So now it's like you're getting older, so you're wiser now. So you start seeing things more than just the look. You start looking into the mind, their intelligence and stuff like that. Around what age did you start realizing this type of stuff? Anybody?
With
January
me,
of this year.
Girl,
get me out. Jesus, get me out.
Oh my gosh. With me, I could say when I was 34.
Uh-huh.
So around the age of 34, well, I'm almost 40. So around the age of 30, thank you. But yes, I'm tap dancing on 40. Right, huh?
Was it obvious? We all looked like, hey.
Yeah. I'm tap dancing on 40. I got a 21-year-old kid. I got 4 boys. It is what it is, right?
Wow. Okay.
So I found out, I started to discover this when I was in my early 30s, but it only happened when I went back to school and I educated myself. And that's real for me. Because I was in a 16-year marriage with a narcissist, but I didn't even know that I didn't know he was a narcissist. I knew I wasn't happy. I knew it didn't feel right. I knew I was miserable, but I couldn't put a name to the behavior. But once I became informed, I was able to identify all of the traits that was just ripping me as an individual apart. And once I was able to do that, I was able to validate myself. I was able to dig myself out of the hole he put me in, and I was able to leave.
Yep.
So once I left, don't get me wrong, I felt I was giving up on love. I said love doesn't exist, or my idea of the best man just doesn't exist, and I might as well just be alone. And that's how I felt. And then I met my boyfriend, and everything I love about him is what I love about myself.
That's where it starts. Right? It starts with yourself.
And that's what it was. When I started to, validate myself and liberate myself, I started to love me. And that's what I looked for in whoever I was with. I wasn't even looking for him. He fell in my lap, literally.
When you stop looking, they just come to you.
He just came to me, right? And then I was just like, I wasn't trying to change him. I just was trying to have fun. And that's all it was. Because I was like, look, I just got out of a long-term marriage. I am not stressing about no commitment right now. Let's just enjoy each other's company. And as I got to know him, I was like, oh my gosh, you're dope. I don't want to change you.
Yeah. That's usually how it is. When you find that person, that's it. I want to be around you all the time.
Like, I don't want to change you. And I'm like, you're awesome. And he was just like, what? Nobody's ever told me that. Really? Nobody has ever told you anything nice about yourself? Well, let me start. And I gave him a list of things that I noticed about him that was great. I said, just strategic.
You took the time to get to know him.
Yes. And I was like,
realize it. Yeah.
And I was like, yo, you're awesome. What I don't think of, and I'm always thinking, you think of. And I love having you around because when I'm not paying attention, you're paying attention. And I'm like, you're very strategic. I love playing chess. You think ahead. You try to think before people even think. And I love that about you. If no one ever told you that, that's what makes you smart and that's what makes you brilliant. You're a commodity. And I did that to him. When I tell you, it made this man love me. I don't even know. I wasn't purposely doing it. I just was like, damn, like, you're great. You're fun. I like being around you. And he definitely fell for me hard. So,
and you know what? To a testament to this, and we were having a conversation about this the other day. That's all that a man really wants is admiration. Admiration. You give him the admiration. It'll make him think that he can reach the stars and then bring him back.
Understand how powerful.
You don't know how powerful that actually is.
Gotta gas him up a little bit.
It don't matter. And I mean, women don't understand how much control we actually have.
Yep.
So much control.
All we gotta do is tell them something nice about themselves.
That's it. Hey, now again, I like your shoes. Oh, you know, I got these. I got these.
What's so crazy?
Okay, all right. I got a
crazy is what we expect.
Hold on, I got a funny story. So Nita told me today, she's like, oh, look at him. He's so handsome. She was thinking to herself, she's like, she's so handsome. And she looks down at my feet because I'm wearing Crocs. She was like, oh, never mind. And she told me that. And
now get rid of my glass shoes.
Roller coaster, right?
No, it's a roller coaster, but you know, we have that sense of humor with each other.
Y'all make it work. That's nice.
We make it work. I was like, oh,
yes.
And I love the fact that she hates Crocs, and I know that she does, and I purposely wear them just to piss her off.
Why did I do that?
but it's all in good fun. You know,
conversation piece.
It's a great conversation piece.
What I realize is that us as women like, the men like it too. They just don't speak on it. We want to be told by our significant others that we're beautiful. I make sure I tell my boyfriend every day, damn, honey, you cute. Like, I tell him every day that he looks good because if all he needs to know is that if all he needs on a day-to-day basis is to know that he looks good in my eyes, then nobody else matters.
Nothing else matters.
Yep.
It don't matter. Like, he could feel how he feel about himself, but at the end of the day, I'll be like, well, you sexy. Like, everything like, hey, like, I like to hear that. I like to be told that. That was one of the issues I had in my marriage. My husband never complimented me. But then the minute I post a picture and I get likes and people are complimenting me, he want to fight everybody in my comments. So I had to block him. That's toxic. Like,
don't get no eyelashes, girl.
Okay, you gonna take them shits too.
Right. So,
you gonna leave it with just one.
It's a real thing, but I know he's not perfect. Like, my boyfriend's not perfect. He definitely got some issues.
He perfect for you.
I can't even say that. But
she's like,
I can't even say that. Right?
Because enough right now.
The list that I think a lot of women create it's not realistic. So I had to actually
say that out loud.
It's not a realistic list. We will never find anybody that checks off all the boxes.
That's
so
right.
We have to now pick and choose what we're willing to compromise with and what we're not willing to compromise with. There's the deal breakers.
The perfect,
and then there's
the perfect word that you just used was compromise. Not
that's a big thing in a relationship.
No, because it's not settling. Because at the end of the day,
it's not settling. It's not the same thing.
I got a prize. Even though he didn't check off all the boxes, I still believe I have a good thing. Why is that considered settling?
Because he makes her happy at the end of the day. But you know, the thing about it is that all of this begins with all begins with self-love. Because at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love anybody else. So with the way she speaks about that man, like, that man is on a pedestal, okay? And this is for anybody out there in cyber world. At the end of the day, you need to learn how to love yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, you need to be on somebody's couch talking to the psychiatrist to figure it out.
Right.
At the end of the day, it starts with you.
I think the problem today is that a lot of people go to what society says is supposed to be.
Exactly. You are absolutely correct. Yep.
Because the word settling, and I wanted to go back to that, is only based upon what society says is considered okay.
Yep.
Society will look at my relationship and will say I am settling because he's not on my level academically. But if he's making me happy, why is that not good enough?
Exactly. We're part of the pick-me group. Not we are, but this is what the society is.
We not even about to get into that.
Don't let me, because one of my posts one of my TikToks, women attacked me because I was calling women out on their BS.
Yeah.
I would say I'm a pick-me because I was saying women need to take accountability for some of the things that they do.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
And
Can't do that. What's wrong with you? Can't do that.
Yo, okay, all right. So with that, I want to leave it here, and we're gonna wrap it up here, Rob. The pick me attitudes from both genders. This has got to be a next topic. Will you be able to join us for that topic?
Was that
sure.
Monday?
Boom, there it is. Go ahead, Rob.
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday. Same time.
Same time.
Yep. We do it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, it is time to end the show. I would like to say thank you to all of our listeners out there, everybody that's tuning in, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys are blowing up the comments today. We appreciate it. We love you guys. Continue to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you support us on Facebook by sending your stars. This is the Perfectly Balanced Podcast, just a panel of brown people having good conversations over here. I am your host, Big Rob. We're gonna go down the line from left to it's flipped. Left to right. All right. Cal, we're gonna start with you.
All right. It's me, KG, aka Dr. Graves, no PhD. You know who we are. We always came to drop bars.
Factual information.
All right. This is Clara G. I'm just in the building for the day.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'm Big Rob. So next.
I'm Kayla, your favorite anti-Karen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Takia Howard. I was a guest for today, and I'm glad that I was able to join you on this panel.
What's your social media handles before you get out of here?
Okay. On TikTok is FreeShanti01, and my Instagram is Kia Sophia 1026.
Perfect.
Well. Say the best for last.
All right. Well, here we go.
Listen here, people. Listen here. You know, I didn't have too much to say today. I ain't had too much to say today because y'all was hitting it on the coffin. You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of preaching going on. Appreciate that. Shouts out to my baby sister falling in the Karen of Frontier. You know what I'm saying? She still that white lady still got to see us in the parking lot. She still got to see us in the parking lot. Hey, y'all enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Be blessed. Remember, party till you die. You know what I'm saying? Party till you die. Let's go.
What? That makes sense. Okay. Anyway. Look, y'all know we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will see y'all on Monday. Same time, same place. Peace.
Bye.